video is the continuation on the introduction to functions, and we will now focus on piecewise function. Piecewise function is a function that contains several expressions depending on restrictions of values the unknown variable will take on in a certain situation. Ang piecewise function daw ay isang function pero nakapaloob sa kanya ang isa or marami pang expressions na nakadepende sa restrictions. Ibig sabihin, there's only a condition for a certain unknown variable. Hindi siya continuous. Meron siyang mga condition lang na hanggang dun lang yung expression na yon. Kaya siya piecewise. And para malaman natin yung mga restrictions na yon, ano yung mga condition, we will take into consideration these two variables, the independent and the dependent variables. The independent variable is a variable often denoted by x, whose variation does not depend on that of another, while the dependent variable is a variable often denoted by y, whose value depends on that of another. Ang independent variable, alam naman natin na we can set values for x. Kung ilan yung kaya nating iset. Sa dependent variable, nakadepende siya kung gaano karami or ano yung x para makakuha tayo ng sagot for the dependent variable. For example, intake natin ng pagkain. So, nakadepende, if x is the independent variable, yun yung dami ng pagkain ini-intake natin. So, ano ang dependent variable nito? Anong result? So, nakadepende ito sa, ang dependent variable niya is yung weight ng tao. So, it depends upon the intake of the person of food. So, ibig sabihin, pag mas marami yung intake niya ng food, most probably, bibigat ang timbang niya. And kung ang x variable naman or that the intake of food is less, so, maaaring ang dependent variable o yung weight ay hindi rin masyadong tumaas. So, nakadepende. So, yun yung iti-take into consideration natin when we are writing piecewise function and representing it. The next example will be, magre-represent na tayo. Gagawa na tayo ng piecewise function. Magre-represent, depende dun sa problem. So, ito yung problem. Dito sa video na to, I-explain yung how to answer this problem or how to represent this problem into a piecewise function.
Ngayon, mag-aaralan natin ang problem na ito about mobile plans. Pag-aralan natin yung problem. A user is charged 200 pesos weekly for a particular mobile plan, which includes 50 free text messages. Text messages in excess of 50 are charged 1 peso each. Represent the weekly cost for text messages using the function T of M, where M is the number of text messages sent in a month. Ibig sabihin ng problem na ito, kumuha ang isang user ng postpaid plan. Ano ba ibig sabihin postpaid plan? Pag postpaid plan, maggagamitin mo muna yung service nilang telecom na kinuha mo, and then, at the end of the month, kukumpitin nila yung usage, yung gamit mo, bago mo bayaran sa kanila. Kaya nga postpaid. Later ang bayad at the end of the month. Parang bill ng kuryente, tubig, yan. So, yung mobile plan, meron siyang 50 free text messages, 200 per week. Ngayon, may kondisyon. At bawat excess daw, bawat sobra sa 50, after na 50, pag sumobra, may charge na piso. So, i-represent natin yung weekly cost of text messaging using the function T of M, where M is the number of text messages. Now, ang piecewise function, pag nagre-represent tayo, dapat alam natin yung mga conditions. Kasi hindi lang siya isang formula. So, since binigay na sa atin yung ating magiging dependent variable, paano natin na-identify kung dependent or independent variable? So, sa dependent variable, syempre, gagamitin muna natin yung text messages. So, nasa sa atin kung ilang text messages yung kaya natin gawin in a month. At nakadepende yung T of M, which is yung ating babayaran. Nakadepende dun sa ating usage. Okay, so pwede tayo mag-start. So, T of M, alam naman natin na Y is equal to F of x. Yan. So, y is equal to f of x. Dito, t of m. So, yung m natin is our x. Kaya may x dito kanina. Yan. That's our x. Susulat na natin. T of m. Now, alamin natin yung mga conditions. 200 weekly, kailan nagiging 200 lang ang babayaran ni customer? Kung ang magagamit mong free text messages ay from 0 to 50. Done. So, lalagay natin dyan yung m. Greater than or equal to 0, but less than or equal to 50. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Burahin ko lang ito. Ibig sabihin yan, magiging 200 lang yung babayaran ng user kung siya ay 0 to 50 ang magagamit na text messages. Ano yung isa pang condition? Siyempre, yung lalagpas. So, 200 plus. Yan. So, siyempre nag-exceed siya. Ibig sabihin, sumobra, lumabis sa 50. So, anong gagawin? Plus, yung text messages na labis, ma-minus mo sa 50. Kasi alam mo namang lumabis siya. So, m minus 50. Ano yung condition? Lalagyan mo ng quit yon. M is greater than 50. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki sa 50 yung nagamit na text messages ni user. For example, pag lumabis ko, for example, 51. 51 minus 50 is 1. So, 200 plus 1, it's 201. So, ibig sabihin, pag lumabis ng isa yung user, ilan ang babayaran niya? It's 201. So, ganun lang mag-represent ng piecewise function dito sa particular problem na ito. Bibigyan ko pa kayo ng mga examples para mas maunawaan niyo pa.
So, next natin is on how to evaluate function. Kanina, yung sa piecewise function, yun ay first example pa lang. Yung second example and how to graph, sa ibang videos ko na yung gagawin. Tutuloy na natin ito. So, lesson 2 natin is evaluation of functions. Ito isang review lang to ng inyong junior high school. So, always remember the GEMDAS, which is the GEMDAS, where the grouping symbols first, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, whichever comes first. After ng groupings and exponents, sa multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, kung ano yung mauna sa left side, yun ang susundin. Now, note, to evaluate a function means to substitute or replace the variable with a given value or an expression. F of A, ang basa dyan sa F na mayroong parentheses na kapalubang A, F of A denotes that F will be computed by replacing all the variables in the functions with A.
Now, we are going to evaluate this function at a certain value of x. Ito ay review lang ng ating tutunan nung tayo ay junior high school. What is that? To evaluate a function, substitute lang natin or we will replace the variable with a given value of an expression. So, lahat ng nakikita natin na variable x, papalitan natin ng 2. So, let's start. F of, ano ang value ng x? It's 2. So, this is f of x equals 3x minus 1. Lahat ng nakikitang x, papalitan natin ng 2. So, this is f of 2 equals 3 times 2 minus 1. And then, always remember the GEMDAS or the GEMDAS. Group, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, whichever comes at the left side. So, since walang grouping, wala ding exponent, we'll proceed with multiplication. So, m. Let's copy f of 2 remains the same yan. Then 3 times 2 is 6 minus 1. F of 2 is equal to 5. So this is the value of f of 2. It's 5. If x is at the value of 2, our f of x is equal to 5.
Okay, so naintindihan ba yun? So now, aralin naman natin pag-evaluate ng functions. Record lang ito, so panoorin nyo lang and remember on how to evaluate the following functions at x equals 3. So isa lang yung ating value ng x. So let's watch this.
And this is the other examples for evaluating functions. Meron tayong given 5 functions. We'll tackle the first 3 muna. And we will all evaluate it with the value x is equal to 3. Let's try the first function. So this is, lagyan natin ng arrow. Papalitan natin lahat ng x ng 3. So f of 3 is equal to 3 minus 6. It's equal to negative 3. So that's the answer. This is 7. So let's answer. This is g of 3. Palitan natin yung x ng 3. Equals, change x to 3 squared minus 4 times 3 plus 7 equals 3 times 3, it's 9 minus 12 plus 7. Wait lang, lagyan natin dito. Plus 7. That will be equal to, what's the final answer? It's positive. 9 plus 7 is 16 minus 12 is positive 4. So this is the answer. So balik tayo dito sa kabila. We have the h of x. For h of x, lagyan natin yung arrow. Or we can answer it here sa baba. Medyo mahirap lang. Okay. Sorry. H of 3 is equal to the cube root of yung x, papalitan natin ng 3 squared plus 3 times 3 minus 1. Enclose natin siya dyan. So what's the answer? The cube root of 3 times 3, because 3 squared is 9. 3 times 3 is literally 9 minus 1. This is the cube root of 9 plus 9, 18, minus 1, 17. And this is the final answer. Wala naman kasi siyang direct cube root of 17. So we will answer the last 2 functions.
Now, next natin, evaluate naman itong the rest of the functions at x equals 3.
To continue with our activity, let's evaluate the following function at x is equal to 3. What if we have j of x is equal to x squared minus 5, which will be all divided by 3x plus 7. Again, same procedure. We will substitute x variables with the value of 3. Okay, let's do it. And this is an example of division of function. Operational function siya pero division. Because we have two functions and we use division as our operation. Try lang ako, maglagay lang ako. This is an arrow ha, hindi pa to kasi hindi ko maibaba. There's no space pa. Na. So let's have j of 3. Equal sign will be here. X squared, 3 squared. Pinalta natin ng x ng 3 minus 5 divided by 3 times 3 plus 7. So when we solve this using the GenMath rule, 3 times 3 or 3 squared is 9 minus 5 over 3 times 3 is 9 plus 7. Yung mga sakit natin dyan, ang mga cancellation, hindi yan uubra. Because it's not multiplication. Meron kasi siyang sa middle part na mga operations. So, hindi pwede. So, let's simplify. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 plus 7 is 16. And our answer is 1/4. So this is the simplified form. So this is the final answer, 1/4. Now, punta lang tayo dito sa ating next example, or the last example, which is k of x is equal to the absolute value of x minus 6. So we know that absolute value, lahat na nasa loob ng absolute value, it becomes positive. Lahat nagiging positive. So, let's try to answer. We'll put an arrow kasi dito tayo mag-start ng solving. So, k of 3 is equal to the absolute value of, let's palitan na natin siya ng 3 minus 6. It's equal to the absolute value of negative 3. Kasi 3 minus negative 6 is negative 3. And the rule is, lahat na nasa loob ng absolute value, it always becomes positive pag tinanggal na natin yung absolute value. So the answer is 3. So that's the answer for the activities.
Now, meron ulit tayong another video. Paano naman kung hindi na number yung ating ipapalit sa value ni x, kundi it's also an expression. So, ito yung way on how to. Meron tayong dalawang examples for this.
For our next example, what if the value of x is also a variable? How do we evaluate functions like this? So, para gawin ito, simply, let's treat this as x. Treat lang natin siya lahat. This binomial, para lang siyang x. We will replace all this with x. So this is like a sort of review. So we have 3. Burahin na natin ito para hindi confusing. So f of 2a plus b is equal to 3 times, since x siya, and x is 2a plus b. Papatan na natin siya ng 2a plus b plus yung natira, 4. Then, what's our next step? Next step is distribute 3 to the binomial. We will multiply this. 3 times 2 is 6a plus 3 times b, 3b plus 4. And do we have an answer? Yes, may answer na tayo. And that's it. Kasi we cannot add them anymore, or wala naman na siyang similar terms. Okay. That's the first one. And let's have letter B.
Ito naman po yung sa ating letter B. So let's continue watching.
For our next example, for letter B, what if we have x at x squared minus 1 Let's look for f of x squared minus 1. Paano yun? Ganun ulit ang process. Itong x na nakikita natin will be replaced with x squared minus 1. Since f of x ay na-replace na ni f of x squared minus 1, ito na lang ang ating i-replace. So let's do the process. 3 times, since this is x and our x is x squared minus 1 plus 4. What's the next step? Anong ginawa natin ulit kanina? Distribute natin sa 3 kasi that's multiplication. 3 times the binomial x squared minus 1. So 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times negative 1, it's negative 3. Plus 4. And, mayroon ba tayo similar terms? Yes, we have. So this one, wala naman siyang kaparehong variable. So we'll rewrite 3x squared. Then we have two constants, negative 3 plus 4. So that the answer is plus 1. And that is our final answer. So pag variable ang ating x sa function, variable din ang ating x sa function, magkakaroon din siya ng, possibly na magkaroon din siya ng variable. So, wag matakot, just do the process step by step. Walang lilibanan or lilikdangan. Ano?
Now, dito naman tayo sa operations on functions. So, natapos na tayo sa how to evaluate a function. Ngayon naman, gagamitin, kung kanina, isa-isang function lang natin sinosolve. Ngayon, paano if it involves two functions? How to use operations on functions? So, alam naman natin ito. So, we have, madalas natin gamitin sa F and G. Pwede din yung capital letters. Pag may makikita kayong capital letters, do not be afraid. It's still function. Kung yung F ay capital F, yung G capital G, H. So, yun yung ating gagamitin. Pwede. It's still a function. There's, for operations on function, we have 4. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Sa sum, which is denoted by f plus g, is the function denoted by f plus g of x, ang basa dyan, equals f of x plus g of x. Their difference, denoted by f minus g, is the function denoted by f minus g of x, equals f of x minus g of x. Pinaghiwalay. Hindi pinaghiwalay. Yung f of x magiging minuend, ang g of x magiging subtrahend. So, doon natin ibabawas. So, for their product, sa multiplication, f times g. Ang f times g, mapapansin niyo yung bilog. Bilog siya and shaded. The circle is shaded. Kasi iba yung symbol pag bilog lang siya and hindi siya shaded. May open sa gitna. So, it's f times g of x, ang basa dyan, equals f of x times, ito ay may g ha, g of x. Lagyan natin ng pen. Pili tayo ng color. Dito meron siyang letter G. Yan. F of x times g of x. Yan. So, their quotient denoted by f divided by g is equal to the function denoted by f divided by g of x is equal to f of x over g of x. Si f of x ang ating dividend and si g of x ating divisor. Excluding the values of x where g of x equals 0. So, bawal maging 0 si g of x. So, let's have an example. So, ito yung sa addition. So,
This is the example on how to find the sum of two functions using operations on functions. And our first example is about addition of functions. So we have the given function f of x is equal to 3x plus 1 and g of x is x squared plus 5x minus 2. Let's look for f plus g of x. What is the meaning of f plus g of x? O anong ibig sabihin nun? Simply means that we will add f of x and g of x. Yun lang. So it means simply, kung sino si f of x, kung ano ang f of x, we'll simply put it here, then add plus sign and add the g of x. And be careful with the negative signs kasi it can ruin your solutions all throughout. Hindi naman yun naiwasan, but be careful. Sa natatakot sa negative signs, just do step-by-step process. Huwag bibiglain. Para alam mo kung nasaan ka na sa part ng solving. Simply, gawin mo lang muna yung first step. What's the first step? F of x. What is f of x? It's 3x plus 1. Kopyahin mo lang yun. 3x plus 1. Plus, what is g of x? It's x squared plus 5x minus 2. Enclose na natin siya sa parenthesis. X squared plus 5x minus 2. Now, para matanggal si parenthesis, simply we will multiply this positive sign with these 3 terms. Para matanggal natin si parenthesis. 3x plus 1. We know that a positive integer times. Kasi diba automatically, meron naman siyang 1 dyan na coefficient. So, we have positive times positive. It's positive x squared. Positive times positive 5x. It's positive 5x. And positive times negative 2. It's negative 2. And simply add like terms. So, alin dito yung magkakaparehong terms. X squared doesn't have any similar terms. So, let's rewrite that. X squared. 3x and 5x are similar. So, let's add them. It's 8x plus 8x. And ang natira natin, these two constants, positive 1 and negative 2. The answer is negative 1. So, we have an answer. It's x squared plus 8x minus 1. That's the answer for f plus g of x. So, let's have another example. Again, given this function, f of x is equal to 3x plus 1 and g of x is equal to x squared plus 5x minus 2, we will look for the difference of the two functions, f minus g of x. So, this means that we will subtract f minus x with f of x minus g of x. To solve, simply, we'll substitute again. What is f of x here? It's 3x plus 1. Then, we'll erase this. Minus, we will enclose this with negative sign because we will multiply this later. Okay, so 3x plus 1. Negative times negative x squared, it's negative x squared. Negative times positive 5x is negative 5x. And negative times negative 2, it's positive 2. And again, we will add like terms. For adding of like terms, we do not have same terms for x squared, so we have x squared. Then, 3 minus negative 5, minus 5x, it's negative 2x. And 1 plus 2 is 3. So this is the final answer for the difference of two functions.
And this is the example for multiplication.
For our third example, we will solve for p times g of x, operation on functions which involves multiplication. So given the function p of x is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 5 and g of x equals x minus 2, find p times g of x. So in order for us to solve this, simply copy p times g of x. Now, in order for us to solve this, what's the meaning of p times g of x? Since it's multiplication, ang meaning niya is p times x, p of x times g of x. we will multiply these two functions. In order for us to multiply these two functions, alamin muna natin, what is p of x? P of x is x squared minus 3x plus 5. Then substitute. Then enclose it in a parenthesis, and what is g of x? It's x minus 2. Kayong bahala kung anong strategy ang ginagawa nyo sa pagsosolve ng mga polynomial, multiplying polynomials. So, kayo bahala kung gusto nyo vertical method, kung gusto nyo horizontal method, or kung ano pang method ang alam ninyo. So, this will be a horizontal one. So, paano ba naging horizontal? So, we will multiply x minus 2 with this trinomial. Or, better yet, ang gawin natin, ito, dito sa dalawang to. Paano yon? Copy this one. X squared minus 3x plus 5 times itong first term, x. Tapos, ito, minus x squared, parang sikip, sunod natin, x squared minus 3x plus 5 times 2. Tama ba ako? Or, paisip ako dun dito pala. Yan. Negative 2x squared minus 3x. Negative 2 times x squared minus 3x plus 5. Okay, saan na nangyari? Ano nangyari? Simply, si x squared minus 3x plus 5, i-multiply lang natin dyan sa dalawang yan. Linisin ko lang ito x minus 2. Yan, minultiply lang siya dito sa dalawang terms. Ito si x, ito si 2. Okay. Ating isimplify na medyo sikip lang ating space. Yan. So, x times x, kasi ito naman, i-multiply mo naman siya. Yan. Para i-verify nyo, gamit kayo na ibang tawag dito, gamit kayo na ibang process. Pwede kayo mag-vertical kung mas gusto nyo din. X times x squared is x cubed. X times 3x is negative 3x squared. 5 times x is 5x. Minus 2 times x squared, negative 2x squared. Negative 2 minus negative 2 times negative 3x is positive 6x. And the last one is negative 2. Negative 2 times positive 5, it's negative 10. So, since okay na yan, add like terms lang tayo. Anong pinakamataas na exponent? X cubed. So, copy x cubed. Ganda natin na sulat. Yan. Next. That is negative 3x squared minus negative 2x squared. So, paras negative, let's add negative 5x squared. Ano sunod sa x squared? X. So, we have 5x plus 6x, positive 11x. And the last one, negative 10. So, do you think we have the right answer? Yes, we have already. Yan. The answer is x cubed minus 5x squared plus 11 minus 10. Ganyan lang kadali mag-multiply ng functions.
And this is the last example for operations and functions.
And this is the last example for the operation on functions. We will divide the function f of x equals x squared minus 5x plus 6 and g of x equals x squared minus 9. So, para masagutan ito, we will use the formula f over g of x, wherein f will be the denominator and g becomes the denominator. It just means that f of x will be divided by g of x. So, medyo mahaba siya. isolve kasi gagamit tayo ng fraction bar. Simply, what is f of x? Let's copy. It's x squared minus 5x plus 6 divided by the g of x, which is x squared minus 9. So, natutunan nyo ng grade 8, anong ginagawa natin pag nag-divide tayo ng function? Unang ginagawa natin is either yung vertical way na pagsasolve or pwede naman natin gamitin ay factoring. So, mas madaling factoring, so we'll use that. So, what are the factors of 6 that when we add, the answer will be negative 5? Ano yun? So, that is x. Para maging negative 5, it's negative 2 and negative 3. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6, and negative 2 plus negative 3 is negative 5. So, ganun lang yan. Recall nyo yung inyong knowledge about factoring. And special products, x squared minus 9. So, 9 has a square root. So, square root niya is 3. So, since this is a sum of squares, tama ba ako? Sum and difference. Ayan pala, sum and difference of squares. So, we will have positive and negative 3. Ayan. Do we see a common factor in the denominator and the numerator? Yes, we have a common factor which is negative 3. When we divide that, the answer will be 1. Bakit? 2 over 2 means it's 1. So, if this factor in the numerator has also the same factor in the denominator, it is considered as a 1. So, what is left is, saan ba natin pwede isulat? Okay, we will write it here. It's x minus 2 over x plus 3. Okay, pwede naman na natin tanggalin yung parentheses para hindi na kayo nalilito. Final answer naman na siya. So, this is the final answer. X minus 2 plus over x plus 3. So, ganun lang mag-divide ng functions.
Now, this is our last topic for the introduction to function, which is composition of functions. So, composition of function, this is a type of function wherein the function, okay, wait lang. Lagyan ulit natin ng sulat. This is f of g is defined as follows. F of g of x, this one, f of g of x. So, pwede din siyang basahin as like this. Pero, that's the symbols, pero lahat sila pwedeng basahin as f of g. This means that f of x is composed of the function g of x. In other words, the variable x and f of x will take on the value of g of x. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Lahat ng variables na may x dun sa function f of x, papalitan lahat kung ano yung expression ni g of x. Ma-explain naman yan mamaya pagdating natin sa ating last examples. So we have to use the definition of composite function f of g of x. Mapapansin nyo, open circle siya. Kasi ibig sabihin yan, that is composition of functions. At yung nasa labas, yung nasa unahan, this first one, ito yung gagamitan ng expression, yung f of x. Ano yung gagamitin? Pang-replace. Yung x natin magiging isang function siya. Kumbaga, katulad siya na isang example natin kanina na may mga variables din. Hindi lang siya isang value na constant. So first step, use the definition of composite function f of x, f of g of x. Pwedeng iba-ibang symbol yan. Pwedeng h of x, h of g of x, g of h of x, f of x, g of x, h of x. Pero same process. Yung nasa labas yung expression, yung nasa loob yung pampalit sa lahat ng values ng x, ng expression na nasa labas. So substitute all x in f of x with g of x and simplify the answer. Tingnan natin. This is the example.
In this example, you need to listen closely or attentively para masagutan natin ang composition of function. Ano si composition of function? This is given f of g of x. Di ba alam naman natin kanina, it's f of x. Yung mga sinolve natin kanina, f of x. But what's the difference between composition of function and operation of functions? Meron. Ano yung kaibahan niya? It means that halip na magkaroon tayo ng certain value for x, or pipiliin natin kung anong gusto natin value for x, ang gagamitin natin ay kung ano, si g of x. Ang ipapalit natin sa lahat ng x na makikita natin sa function ni f of x, papalitan natin siya ng g of x. Naiintindihan ba? Yan. Kung ano yung value ni g of x, yun ang ipapalit natin sa lahat ng x na makikita natin sa function ni f of x. So, isa-isahin natin. Paano? Sagutan na natin itong problem. So, what is f of x? Sulat na natin sa f of x. It's 3x plus 2. Sabi ko nga kanina, lahat ng x na makikita natin kay f of x, which is this one, papalitan natin ng value ni g of x. What's the value of g of x? It's 4x squared. 3 times 4x squared plus 2. Yan. So, wala na naman tayong space. Salit lang. Yan. So, let's solve. 3 times 4, it's 12. X squared plus 2. Do you think? Do we have an answer? Yes. This is the answer already. 12x squared plus 2. Napakadali. Simply, ang gagawin natin, kung ano yung nasa loob, siya yung ating kukunin para ipalit sa value ng nasa labas, which is f of x. Bigyan pa tayo ng example para mas maunawaan natin.
And we have this last example.
Yan. Ngayon, gamit naman ang given pa rin na ito, we will solve for g of f of x. So, medyo nagkapalitan sila ng pasto. So, how can we solve this type of composition of function? Mapapansin nyo, siya ay butas na, siya siyang butas. Yung symbol niya, it's an open circle. So, hindi siya naka-shade, kagaya ng sa multiplication. So, alam nyo yung difference nila. Simply, ano yung nasa outer part? It's g of x. Pero, ano yung gagamitin natin pampalit kay x? Pamalit sa mga x's ni g of x. Ayun. So, hindi ito yung sa relationship ha, ng mga x ha. Hindi. Ginagamit lang natin yung variable. So, this is g. Papalitan natin siya ng nasa loob. F of x. Yan. G of f of x. So, paano yun? Tingnan natin. Hanap ulit tayo ng space. Yan. What is g of x? 4x squared. Ay, hindi nakita sa camera. It's 4x squared. Balik natin. It's 4x squared. Yun. Now, ano yung f of x? Tingnan natin ulit. F of x is 3x plus 2. So, itong x na to, mapapalitan ng 3x plus 2. So, 4 times 3x plus 2 squared. Yan na. So, how do we solve this? Siyempre, simplify muna natin yung square of binomial. Marunong pa ba mag-multiply? Special product, square of binomial. Naku, baka hindi na. 4 times. Pwede naman yung mano-mano. I mean, vertical. Pwede nyo na yung horizontal kung paano kayo nag-multiply ng binomial. This means that it's 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 2. Kayo na bahala kung gusto nyo isolve ng ganyang way. Then, check natin kung tama yung sagot nyo. So, this one will be, gagamit ako ng shortcut, 3 x times 3x, it's 9x squared. Diba? Squared of the first term. Next, plus. Since same lang naman yung magiging middle term, 3x times 2, it's 6x. Tatimes natin ulit sa 2. Kasi, madudoble nga siya, diba? So, it's 2 times 6x. Plus, what's the square of 2? It's 4. Yun lang, tapos na. Then, simplify na natin. So, we have 4 times 9x squared plus 12x plus 4. And, multiply again. Multiply natin sila lahat. So, we have 36x squared plus 48x plus 16. So, do you think nakuha na natin yung sagot? What do you think? Yes, nakuha na natin yung sagot. So, this is the answer.
And that's all for our introduction to function. Pwede na nating sagutan ibang activities that I will set after I upload this video. So, abang na lang dun sa next video natin on graphing of piecewise function. Thank you.